What is up, ladies and gentlemen, twerkers, jerkers, and lurkers, witches, liches, and bitches? It is time once again for another edition of Johnston, Blackhorse, Dewz, the Drarwings with your host, me, Johnston, Blackhorse, the one and only, and I'm here to do them motherfucking drawings. I'm in a bit more chipper mood right now because my honey squish is here. I guess her Discord fucking wasn't working, so she didn't know I was online streaming. And she was unawares. Stupid Discords. So yeah. So we're back to it. Tag team back again. Ah, fuck. My fucking tablet blinked out on me. God damn it. Okay. So, I'm just chilling out. Like, I decided to do, like, the family laundry, like, after class today, which is at 1. And right now is, like, 10, like, pretty much 10:45. I might have to get a refill on coffee. So let's jump back on this one now that my darling honey squishy's back. My sweetie honey kitty. She's your best honey kitty. I missed her. She says, yep, Discord froze up. Yeah, fucking Discord. God damn it, Dixcord. So, what shall we discuss today? What are we in the mood to listen to? What are we in the mood to watch? Is there anything anyone out there wants to know? What's going on? Hot doggos soons, yes. A bonus of like doing like laundry is that the gas station where I do laundry near, or like the gas station right next to the laundromat, started serving hot dogs again. So right about now, like those hot dogs ought to be on the roller. Like they probably slapped them on there like a little while ago. So this afternoon, those hot dogs ought to be good and ready to eat once I get there. I hope there's some left. I'm looking forward to it. Also, re-up on some orange juice. I've been on an orange juice kick lately. Pineapple juice is amazeballs. Yes. Dig me some pineapple juice too. Oh, local news is saying like the Powerball lottery is over 1 billion now. That's fucking nuts. Like, I want to take like whatever money I have and like freaking take a trip over to Cortez to get me like a Powerball ticket. Cause like imagine just like fucking winning the Powerball of like over 1 billion. Oh fucking hell, I'd be set for life. Because I'm not like one who has like extravagant or like expensive tastes. It's like I'd probably just like live like a pretty simple life. Just I'd want to pay off my mom's medical debts and do like the addition to the house. Maybe just take some courses in like things like being an electrician or plumber and a carpenter, just so I can fucking build that on my own, so I don't have to pay anyone else to do it. No, it just says Euro lottery is 4 billion at the moment. Whoa, fucking crazy. Maybe love should go out and get us a couple of tickets. Because I'm tempted to like this weekend just drive out there and solely for a ticket. But I should probably do the responsible thing and just hold on to that money for the truck tires I have to pay for. Because I'll only have like I think there's still some money like being transferred by Stripe. Because we didn't transfer that $50. Like I've still yet to see that $50 my darling Luff donated to me. Wait a minute. I know you like gave me $10 for hot dogs today, but the last one you gave me, like it reads $50, but I think you have it put on our money list as $80. Okay, love. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No, you have it. You have it on $50. I thought like for some reason like I remember reading it as 80, and I remember checking later, and in coffee, and it says like 50. And I was just thinking right now, but does she have it written down as 80? But no, I was wrong. You have it down for 50. So yeah. So Stripe has yet to transfer that 50 because I guess it's like in the process of being transferred. We got to it too late to like transfer it instantly, so it's going the long route. So it's probably going to be dropped in my account either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. But yeah, I think I only have like a hundred and well with that 50, I think I'll only have like $180 to my name, and here I need to rack up like 410 to make the payment for my truck tires. Which is why this is a partial dono stream, so anyone who wants to donate can do so. Just follow the link in the description section below. Any dollar amount would be much appreciated. So yeah, even though I'm tempted to like fucking go out and buy myself like a few of those Powerball lotto tickets, I have to do the responsible thing and just like save up that money that I have at the moment to try to pay for my tires. Weber's Luff. Weber's Luffer Butts. Hmm. That's crazy. Like the mic can pick up the sound of me swallowing. It's funny. So do we need to look in on Stripe again? Like, no, you already transferred what you were able to transfer. So the $50 that you plugged in there like the other day, it's already being processed by Stripe to transfer. So there's nothing we can do to touch that until that transfer goes through. So that probably won't happen until tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, if it's already like locked away for now until it transfers. So yeah, it's fine. Wait, let me check my account. See if it did transfer. Stripe payment. And where's the other Stripe payment? That was today's Stripe payment for the hot dogs. Oh, here's the other Stripe payment. That was the 280. And that was on Tuesday. And when was that? Gotta check when that $50 was plopped in. Okay, yeah, that $50 is it's on his way, but it hasn't made it to my bank yet. Because the last big transfer before today was on the 1st, and you plop that 50 on the 2nd. So yeah, it's already being processed. So no need to worry. It'll eventually make it to my account. It's fine. It's fine. I just have to wait like a couple days. What are those dogs barking about? It's just a neighbor's dog. Okay. Let me put my headphones on in case I want to start playing some spoopy stories. Oh, that's cold. It's cold in my ears. Ow, my freaking ears. Okay. Ooh. They're just barking at a dog. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, what would I do with all that money? $1 billion. That's fucking crazy. I hadn't really been paying attention till like the news started like making a pretty big deal about it. And the last time I saw them making a big deal about it was like when the Mega Millions was like getting into the or the Powerball was getting into like the 80 millions or whatever. But now it's like over 1 billion. That's fucking crazy. Could buy yourself like a few islands or something. I don't know. I don't know what you would do with $1 billion, but fucking I could probably like if I won that, like I just live at my own leisure. I'd pay off my mom's medical bills for like, the first thing. Send myself back to school for carpentry and electrician and plumbing, and just make that addition to my mom's house based on all that knowledge instead of having to like pay someone else to do it. Just get me my own learning in those fields. No, he says $1 billion, buy an island. Yeah, right. Make my own country. uh, what else would I do? Oh, I would put whatever money I needed to put down to have like my darling honey kitty move in with me after building our dream home, of course. Right, love? Right, sweetie? Sweetness? Luffin Muffin? Honey kitty? Tootsie Bootsie? She responds with a kitty emoji. I'm going to assume that means yes. What else would I do with $1 billion? Run for president on the platform of mandatory abortions, because there's enough fucking idiots in this world as it is. Jabe is fucking hell, especially here in America. Got too many religious nut jobs over here. You could set up a garage / workshop for me. It's what happens when your nation is founded by retarded Puritan. Yes. Uh, fuck the Puritan mindset, man. Just And some of these jackasses who like run on like this like Puritan religious ideology are like the fucking assholes who are the most corrupt and perverse. There's like all those like politicians who are like anti-gay marriage and like express like homophobic ideology are like suddenly found in some sort of like homosexual orgy. It's like fucking jeez, man. Anyway, what's this garage slash workshop you're talking about? Are you saying like I don't have to like build like this huge dream house? Just build you uh like your own little garage workshop to just game and play music in? Oh, garage slash workshop so I can work on and build cars. Nice. Yeah, fucking hell, that's right. That'd be pretty fucking sweet. Oh, god damn it. This fucking tablet. It keeps blanking out to a white screen. And whenever that happens, I have to like fucking restart it. Come on, you motherfucker. Bitch ass piece of shit. Skank wad pussy clown dildo jizz rag son of a bitch. There we go. It's working now. Fucking dick snot motherfucker. Oh, no, no, there's nothing wrong. I just felt like swearing. Oh, no, it just says, hey, I bought that. Yeah, I'm sorry, love. I'm not abusing it or anything. Well, it's just getting on in years and usage. It's been like what? Like, um, okay, you bought it for me when I was in Vegas. I had it for like maybe a year, and I moved to back here to the res, and then I started having issues with it, so I had to use the warranty, and I got a brand new one thanks to the warranty. And yeah, that's right. I only had it for like a little less than a year before like moving here, and it started wigging out because it had like a limited year warranty, and I was able to utilize that warranty to get like a brand new tablet. And since then, I think it's been what, maybe 5 years, 5 years of wear and tear and usage. So it's it's been like a pretty reliable workhorse. But sometimes when it like blinks out like that, like really often, it just kind of it gets annoying. But I thank you, love, for getting me this drawing tool, this drawing toy of mine. You're the best. You're the best, and I love you for it. It's okay, honey kitty. I'm sorry for swearing at it. Well, like Dasco Draws is holding on to a Cintiq tablet for me, and it's one of those freaking big ones. But it's like much like the ones I used to work on back in Vegas when I worked for that shit company. And it's a pretty good product, but it's like pretty old, so I don't know like how compatible it would be. But all I would have to do is like pay shipping and handling, and I think I was like shipping and handling for that thing was like, geez, since it's so fucking heavy, like I think it was in the range of like $300 or something like that. So I was saying, oh, okay, so why doesn't Dasco want it? Well, he got a new one, so he doesn't really need the old one anymore. But the old one is just like so huge and heavy. Or do you want me to just have like a brand new one? Yeah, 300 bloody dollars for sending like a Cintiq tablet, because like the fucking thing like weighs shit, I don't know. Hold on. I lifted my weights just to gauge it. It has to weigh at least 20 pounds. Because I remember like trying to like adjust the thing on my desk back when I worked at that god awful place, and that thing was freaking chonky. It was pretty heavy. But yeah, in order to like do shipping and handling on that thing, it's gonna. I think he like it was gonna cost like 300 or so bucks. Does that little weight lift classes count as your exercise for today? No. No, I should probably do some push-ups and stuff. I've just been so lazy about that too lately. It's like, not only am I getting addicted to sleep, I've been getting lazy about my push-ups. Um, Shoot, I don't remember what model this antique was. It was an old one. Let me see. It's been a while since I've been to the Wacom's Antique webpage. Go to products. And displays. Geez, they don't have the model anymore. It's all just brand new stuff. Holy shit. They look so fancy. They're so fancy. See if they have them on Amazon. That was like maybe about this big. So it had to be like maybe 20 inches or so. Yeah, I don't see them anymore. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, yeah, probably. But like on the website, they don't have the big honking, like they do have the big screen ones, but they're not as thick as the ones that I used to work on. They're so they look so flat nowadays. Like, geez, wow, like what, man? How much would a new one cost? Oh, fuck that. 2,500. Get out of town, man. Nope. Fucking nope. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have the model number. Just gonna have to ask Dasco Draws when I get a chance, or when he gets the chance to pop on, or whatever. Because I don't want to ask him now, because if I did that, like, it'd probably put him under the impression that I'm ready to send him the money to, like, ship it. Yeah, I don't want to give the guy any false hope. Because I do not have the money. Need to find out if it's still functioning nicely as well. You don't want to buy something that's on its last legs. True. Das is true. My friend Leo's trying to out cute my fluffies. Oh yeah? You're gonna have to show me. Okay. Oh. And they're using a sailor suit too, I see. He's pretty cute. I will moita him. Artist is my friend Chrissy. Cool, cool. Oh, other thing I would do if I won that $1 billion is like get myself a wood burning stove. Get proper, get bloody proper central heating. But I love the rustic nature and quality of like a wood burning stove. Hmm. Solar power. That way I'm not reliant on the grid. Because like the grid fails from time to time, especially during like heavy windstorms. It'd be nice if my cabin was a little more self-sufficient in the energy department. Thinking of solar power, like I remember this. Oh god, it had to be a troll. Like I remember reading this stupid comment on solar energy. It was like fucking you can't be this stupid. It should be impossible to be this stupid. So you got to be trolling or I don't know. But like fucking this guy was trying to argue. Oh, I don't know if it was a guy, but like this person was trying to argue against solar energy and it was like saying like, but we only have one sun. If we all use solar energy, like we're gonna use up all the sun's energy and then we won't have a sun anymore. And I was like thinking like when I read that I was like thinking like what? No, no, you can't be this stupid. It's not possible. There is no way you're this dumb. If everyone was using solar energy, we'd use up our sun. But then where would we be? Like, no, no. Like the levels of stupid at that magnitude are just like just profound. Melody says, and the smell of sulfur after a freshly blown up burnt match. Yeah, yeah. Burning wood smells divine. Yes. And burnt match smell, like, oh, nice. Melody says solar's greatest weakness is winter because of the much shorter days. Ah, this is true. This is like why I'm also like thinking like, what if I were to like get like some sort of kinetic energy or like or kinetic motor hooked up to like a one of those exercise bikes, right? So in the winter, I would have like an excuse to like just like do some exercise by just jumping on the bike and like running that motor to like recharge the batteries, like compensate for the lack of abundant sunlight during the winter. Also, like we fucking get a lot of wind, so I could probably hook up some sort of like wind generator to the batteries, a wind turbine. Because I've seen some of those, like on some of my long road trips, like people have these like little windmill turbines set up. And during the changing of the seasons, like especially during like spring and fall, we fucking get a lot of wind whipping through here. Oh shit! What time is it? 11:30. I might have to get that coffee refill. Shut up, dogs. When's class? In about an hour and a half from now. Starts at 1, so it's 11:30 at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and get me some like a coffee refill, top myself off. I shall BRB. Don't nobody go nowhere. Ooh. No coffee. I'm gonna have to put on something warmer. Excuse me while I disrobe. I'm gonna have to layer up. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. And Mom just reimbursed me and paid me some extra monies to be doing the laundry later today. And the money is there. Sweet. But I put up another pot of coffee. So it should be ready. Oh my God, that's cold. Oh, it should be ready after a little bit. But I'm probably going to stop streaming in about maybe 30 to 45 minutes. Just so I can leave myself some time to get ready for class. How do you know she's a bitch? Well, she looks like one. I'm glad it can just spout weird things off like that, and like Honey Kitty just laughs at it. Me and Honey Kitty are very mature. Or mature. Yes. Though our demeanor might not be, our humor sure as hell is. Oh, shoot. I'm like ready to reach for a coffee, and I realize I left my mug next door because I'm waiting for some coffee to brew. Buggers? Wow, what's wrong, love? What's with all the swears? I'm gonna be blowing my nose more often now that it's getting colder, so I better get more wank wipes. Your coffee, your coffee isn't ready. Yes. Still waiting for my coffees. I thought my sister was going to put up some more, but Nephew started throwing a fit, so she went to go put him to bed. Probably just needs a nap. Oh, I should put on a. What should I listen to? Hmm. The Smiling Man. Oh God. Like 4chan X is Chris Chan possessed. Chris Chan's demonic possession. Oh no. Oh God. It just doesn't end for this guy, does it? Too bad he fucking didn't have any more like sane friends. Just fucking troll posing as a friend who talked him into fucking uh raping his mom. Good God. Anyway, let's try this the Smiling Man.
About 5 years ago I lived
Huh? What's this? Sorry, I fucking blasted people's speakers. There we go. Melody says, that depends. Squish isn't as easily amused by childish things like I am. Huh? What's that in reference to? What did I say? I don't remember. I don't know what that's in response to. uh, Squish isn't as easily amused by childish things as like I am. I'm pretty sure I am. Well, I'm pretty sure if we got the both of us in the room, we'd be giggling our asses off about whatever fucking thing we could find. Anyway, Squish needs to find something to watch, whereas I can happily binge watch all Thomas the Tank Engine related stuff. Ah, okay. I see. Well, I'm just like in the mood for something creepy. Like almost all the time I want to listen or watch something spooky.
Downtown in a major city in the US.
Oh, let me restart this.
About 5 years ago I lived downtown in a major city in the US. I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all of that changed in just a few minutes of one evening. It was a Wednesday, somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, and I was
Oh,
walking near a police-patrolled park quite a ways from my apartment.
is this like the old Smiling Man story? I thought this was going to be something recent.
It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side, was the silhouette of a man, dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking,
Yeah,
headed straight for me.
this is old.
Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass me by. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky, and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still, until I could make out his face. His eyes were open wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His mouth was formed in a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off of him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back, and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments I felt relieved, until I noticed him. He had crossed the street, and was now slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and the shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds, so it was clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked that I stood there for some time, staring at him. And then he started moving toward me again. He took giant, exaggerated tiptoed steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone. Except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say at this point I ran away or pulled out my pepper spray or my cell phone or anything at all, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen as the smiling man crept toward me. And then he stopped again, about a car length away from me. Still smiling his smile, still looking to the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What do you want?" In an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whimper, "What?" Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice, and that only made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around, very slowly, and started dance walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go, until he was far enough away to almost be out of sight. And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way. And this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off of the side road and back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months after that night, and I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk, he didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. And that's a very, very scary thing to see.
Thank you, love. Ghost Stories thread. How long ago was this published, though? What about this one? 2 years ago? What about this one? 1 year ago? We'll try this one. The 1 year ago one. It's the Ghost Stories thread.
Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
In this thread we tell ghost stories that scared the shit out of you, personal or otherwise. I'll start. When I was 15, I had one remaining activity to complete for my Bronze Duke of Edinburgh award, the expedition. Basically, this involved a 2-day hike in the wilderness, 1 day and 1 night. I was fortunate to be one of the younger members of our 9-person group. I kind of took a backseat in a lot of the decision-making, so it was pretty cruisy. All I had to do was keep up with the crowd, demonstrate my knowledge and training, and stick to the plan. Day 1. So off we set, after being dropped off in the Highlands of Bonnie, Scotland. I can't remember the exact distance we had to cover by evening, but we set a fairly brisk pace, and everyone seemed well up to the task. We had decided to make camp on government land, pretty much in the middle of nowhere. There was the occasional sign of previous habitation in the area, the odd raised dilapidated foundations peeking out of the heather. At around 6 p.m., we entered what I can only describe as a long upward sloping shallow valley. It was around 300 m wide and a few km long. One side was about half the height of other, and behind the shorter side was going to be the final resting place of the slowly setting spring sun. It's at this time that I notice a member of our group, Ben, looking a little uncertain, uncomfortable, straining his eyes, looking way off into the distance, seemingly transfixed on the top of the slope with the sun setting behind it. I couldn't make out what he was staring at. I asked him if everything was okay, and he quietly replied, "Uh-huh." At around 6:45, the sky was darkening, and the sun was a few whites above the slope. We were in the process of setting up camp, tents, fire, etc., when we saw a figure approaching from down the other slope. The team leader got up to meet the person approaching the camp, and we all fell silent to listen in on what was being said. Turns out he was a local, a farmer I assume, out walking and just wanted to have a friendly chat. There was a brief exchange of pleasantries, the usual, who we were, what we were doing, etc. The guy had lived in the area for most of his life. Before he left, he told the team leader that it was not a great idea staying in this particular area. Didn't elaborate on why exactly, and suggested that we go with him a few km away, and stay at a local campsite. We advised that we couldn't do that, and we had to adhere to our plan in order to qualify for our award. It was at this time that I became quite concerned with Ben. Now, I'm quite an empathic person. I can always read people's state moods within a few moments of meeting them. I also pick up on any personality changes very easily. Ben had me quite worried because as soon as we'd entered this valley, he'd effectively shut up completely. He looked worried. This made me want to find out why, as it was unsettling me too. He was still blanking the group, back turned to the campfire, still staring up this slope. He looked like he was in a trance, fully mesmerized. It was getting much darker now, and decided to sit next to him and try to see what he was transfixed on. I could sort of make out a tree-shaped object, not many branches, very dark, and about 4 people tall. I tapped Ben on the shoulder, and he snapped round to stare me in the eyes. He looked scared, absent. "What is it?" I asked him. "Can you see that?" he queried, pointing to the top of the slope. "What, that tree?" I suggested. He moved back to his original position, and didn't say anything for a few moments. "I think it's getting closer," he said quietly. He was deadpan. Serious. This made the hairs on my arms stand on end. What an odd thing to say. With a cocked eyebrow, I turned back around and resumed the campfire banter. At around 8 o'clock the sun finally disappeared behind the hill, and it became colder and almost completely dark. The moon was out, it was also a clear night, no clouds and no wind. Quite a nice Scottish night actually. I once again checked on Ben, who was still sitting there staring up the slope. A couple of other team members had inquired as to why he was being antisocial, but they've got the same weird statements. Something moving. Something getting closer. To be honest, at this stage in the evening, I couldn't see anything clearly up the slope anymore. Maybe a trace outline of an object. Being guys under 17, away from home, we decided that the 9:30 curfew was way too early. Everyone was having a great time, ironically, telling ghost stories which put us on edge, but as we're in a big group, and sleeping in 3-man tents, no one was particularly freaked out. Except Ben. I was periodically checking on him. The odd glance his way every half hour or so. A few times I sat next to him and asked him to just ignore what was bothering him. All he kept saying was, "It's getting closer." At around 10 p.m. I humored him and tried to make out what he was looking at. I got my maglet and shone it up the slope. I could make out the tree barely, and I don't know if the light was playing tricks on me, but it did look closer. I told Ben we would check it out in the morning. So finally, at around 10:50 myself and Ben were sitting around the dying campfire, and I pretty much ordered him to go to bed. He was totally freaked out. I considered it my responsibility now to make sure he got to sleep and he was safe. Please see the tent diagram, this is important. As you can see, Ben was sleeping the furthest away from the door. Soon I was fast asleep. Suddenly I was jolted awake by a harrowing scream. The tent was freezing. The door to the tent was flapping in a calm breeze. Ben was lying across both myself and Darren's legs unconscious. I sat there in the darkness, slowly becoming aware that Ben had pissed himself, and the side of my sleeping bag was warm and moist. Darren pushed Ben's legs over to his sleeping bag and tried to close the tent. I tried to wake up Ben. Initially, it was futile. It took me a good 5 minutes to get him to come around, and he was totally freaked out. More scared than I had ever seen anyone in my life. All he kept saying was that she tried to take me, and other permutations of some woman trying to lift him out of the tent. Whilst recounting, Darren was trying desperately to get the tent door zipped up, but to no avail. He ended up putting a safety pin in it. Suffice it to say, both Darren and I were speechless and terrified. So much so that we didn't leave the tent until first light, and somehow we all managed to drift off until then. Well, at around 6:30 a.m. I once again awoke. Ben was laying face down on top of his sleeping bag shivering. Darren and I were both pretty groggy but remembered everything freaky thing that had happened at 3 to 4 a.m. The team leader called out for everyone to get up and come and get breakfast on the go. It was then that was started to notice some bizarre, out-of-place things about the tent. 1. The top of the tent was singed, like if you were to get a spray can and use a lighter for about 2 seconds. Just enough to melt but not burn. 2. The door's zipper had melted. No burn marks, just warped plastic. The fly sheet at the entrance of the tent was singed black. 3. As Ben stirred and looked at me, I noticed he had blisters on his forehead. He did not look good. So, skip an hour or so. We had all eaten and Ben finally decided to tell us what had happened to him after much encouragement from me. What he said freaked us out big time, but it didn't stop there. Basically, he'd been fixated on something up the slope that he felt was drawing him in. He couldn't take his eyes away from this thing. He'd become convinced that whatever he was staring at was moving, albeit very slowly, towards our camp. After finally getting to sleep, he was suddenly awoken by an intense heat. He said that he could see light behind his eyelids, on his face. Apparently he was face to face with what he describes as a woman all in black, screaming at him, engulfed in flames. She was trying to get him to help her, begging for him to take her hand. He of course had a complete sensory overload, and passed out. Everyone, bar us 3, was high skeptical to say the least. It wasn't until we showed everyone the tent that doubts began to creep into the minds of the doubters. So, with increasing haste, our camp was packed up, a record dismantling in my opinion. The fire was doused with water, and we were very keen to get out of the area ASAP. It was with some encouragement from Darren and I that the team leader hesitantly decided to come with 4 others to see what was on the top of that slope. Well, it was a fair trek, about 500 meters, but we eventually got there. I shit you not, I was gobsmacked by what we discovered, for standing solitary like a pillar of black was a tree. A tree that had been fashioned into a post. It was caked in soot and cinders, and at its base was a plaque. The plaque read something like this: "Here stands some Celtic name, post, a place used to burn witches from X to Y. 103 witches were burned here."
Holy
Sorry,
shit.
I don't remember the exact words. Needless to say, we found ourselves at the bottom of that slope pretty damn quickly. To this day, I swear that this happened. It's the closest I've come to seeing a ghost.
Here's one. About 2 years ago, I was at a friend's house with my girlfriend.
Coffee time? Good call, love. I shall BRB. I'm going to go refill on coffee. That rhymed. Hey, that rhymed. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. And I have returned with some coffee. Gonna put my hood on before I put my headphones back on, because they're gonna be cold. There we go. There we go.
His girlfriend and his cousin, and it got late, so I
Yeet.
walked my GF home. I cut across a small field to cut the walk by a good 20 minutes. After I dropped my GF home, I set off back across the field. Keep in mind it was winter and it was pitch black 10 p.m. As I got to the opening to the field, I got a phone call from my friend's GF, we'll call her G, saying her dad had gone missing and to look out for him on the way home. I said okay, put the phone down and continued on like the cocky brave fucker I was. As I got to the top of a little hill about 5 minutes into my walk, I heard angry shouting, not casual angry though, mental shouting, the shit you hear in hospitals. He was shouting, where the fuck are you, I'll fucking kill you, you twats. I fucking noped it and froze at the top of the hill and phoned G, and told her what I heard. She got her mom, brother, boyfriend and boyfriend's cousin to come meet me to help the search, which I never fucking agreed to. I was teamed up with G's big brother to scout the darker parts of the field. In the end we were walking around for a good hour shouting for G's dad every now and then, hearing a shout. Eventually I got a phone call from G saying they found him and to gather back on the street. G's dad was stood there totally fine, saying he went for a walk and didn't hear any shouting, not even us shouting for him. We walked off, turning around every now and then to check on G's dad. After about 4 times of turning round, he fucking snapped and screamed at us, what the fuck are you looking at? And we all nope.jpegged back home. I still don't know what the fuck happened that night, and I don't dare delve deeper into it as it fucking terrifies me. Additional notes: this family has a history of ghostly experiences, with G often telling me about things she's seen.
Personal story, I guess. So I work overnights at a local supermarket. We close at 11 p.m. and most of the third shifters, including myself, leave work at 4 a.m. Some stay later. I felt like I shouldn't share this story, but it's been long enough that I don't think anything will come from it. This happened over a year ago. I've been working at this job for now close to 2.5 years. For the most part it's a pretty normal job. You've got your shitty managers mixed with pretty cool co-workers. After a few months I fitted pretty well and had a well-rounded group of work buddies that I even went out to bars with every now and then. I'm sure I'm not the only person that starts to notice patterns and habits with people they see on an almost daily basis. Like where people like to spend their lunches at, or who they generally sit with. One thing I started to notice was what cars people drove and where they liked to park. Not everyone had a spot, most people just took the closest spot, like me.
Okay. Was there anything else? I'm not sure if there was like something else you wanted to add. I can't remember.
But there were those couple of cars I noticed that were generally in the same spot or close to it. After a couple of months I could almost tell you who drove what car. I didn't always get a chance to see the people getting into or out of their cars, like people who worked earlier or later than I. There was one car that stood out to me though. It was an older Chevy Suburban. Maybe 2000 to 2003. It was a darker red color and was sort of beat up. It wasn't a junker or anything, just didn't look very well taken care of. The reason this SUV started to stand out to me was because of how far out it would be parked when I was leaving around 4 a.m. It seemed like it was always the farthest parked car in the lot. When you work the graveyard shift, things like this tend to keep your mind busy. You don't have to use a whole lot of brain power to stock things. So, I started to make mental notes after a few days of noticing how far out the SUV was parked every night. It didn't really make sense. People always fought for the closest spot. This SUV was always the farthest away. I would glance around on my way in around 10:45-50 p.m. every night to see if I could spot the SUV. I could never find it on my way in. I didn't really try very hard to find it though. Then on my way out around 4:05 to 10 a.m. I would look for it again. I could always find it on my way out every single night I worked without fail. After about 2 weeks of this, I came up with the theory of whoever drove the SUV was just the type of person who clocked in during the 5-minute grace period people were given before they were considered late for their shift. It would also explain why they were always parked so far out. All the good spots would already be taken. I started taking note of who showed up last to clock in at night, and there just wasn't enough consistency to pick out who drove this SUV. Because I never worked past 4 a.m., I never would get to see who would get in, since they always seemed to work past 4. One night I even sat in my car for an extra few minutes to see if anyone came out to the SUV. I didn't stay long though, didn't want to seem like a creeper. After a solid 2 months of this, it started to really annoy me one night, for whatever reason. I wasn't obsessing over it, it was something that, like I said earlier, keeps my brain working during the boring hours of work. But that night it just really got at me. Finally, I asked a coworker about it. He said he had no idea what I was talking about. Fine. I asked someone else about it. Same response. Extra annoyed, I mentioned it at break to the group of guys I hung out with. During break we would sit in the dining area next to the cafe. It was at the front of the store and had those long glass window walls, or whatever they're called.
22 years old, renovating a house with my friend, boss. When we first came into the old house, it was filled with old ass furniture, super dusty. It was the house of some—
What? That was it? It was just this strange SUV, and there's like, what the hell?
Extra annoyed, I mentioned it at break to the group of guys I hung out with. During break we would sit in the dining area next to the cafe. It was at the front of the store and had those long glass window walls, or whatever they're called.
22 years old, renovating a house with—
What? No, come on.
Whatever they're called.
22 years old, renovating a house with my friend, boss. When we first came into the old house, it was filled with old ass furniture,
Fucking bullshit,
super
man.
dusty. It was the house
Why
of some
even
old people
include
that died, and we were fixing it up for their
amongst the
grandkids to
compilation.
sell. So, we are taking the tile out of an old bathroom. It's going to be all sheetrock. Shit is put on there with like fucking concrete. Takes a long time hammering and chiseling. Friend leaves to go to hardware store. I'm along in this old house, upstairs bathroom. We took the attic hatch out to do the ceiling, no doors in the house, it's gutted for renovation. From where I am upstairs, I can lean to one side and see the attic hatch. Thing is fucking pitch black. I'm not scared of the dark or attics, so working hard. Hammering and chiseling this shit off the walls, and I hear noises that aren't consistent with the echoing of my hammer. Lots of echo, empty old house, all the furniture had been removed before we started work proper. Lean over, so the hatch is in my view, get this sudden gut-wrenching feeling that something is looking at me from up in the attic. I don't look up, I just move back into the bathroom. The feeling is still there. It can't leave the attic, but something is watching me from it. Nope for a while, decide to sit it out and wait for friend to get back. Hear noise downstairs, assume he is back, call out jokingly that took long enough. No response. Realize the noise wasn't him. Nope. JPG for a while, don't move, sit for what feels like house. Eventually hear his van pull up outside, and hear him come into the house calling my name. I don't reply, he comes upstairs and finds me in the bathroom noped out. Tell him the story, he laughs it off, we both hurriedly finish the job and leave. Still don't talk about it to this day.
I hate green text. I was participating in a reenactment one year. This was a Vietnam one, so I had my R-15 along with several extra blank-loaded magazines. It was getting very dark, and most of the crowd had left. We talked to the group's captain, and he recommended night practice, basically a patrol in this abandoned cornfield. Sounded fun, so I said yes. After the first two scenarios were done, I was placed on the opposing force side. I went off into the woods and waited. That's when I noticed it was dead silent. All that could be heard was the occasional gust of wind through the dead stalks of corn. I glanced around the forest, then crawled out when the wind started up again. Two loud cracks then filled the air, and I watched as an opfer walked out of the cornfield with his weapon up. This was followed by something standing up near the corn and firing again. Now, if you've never shot at night, it's a sight to see. The sudden light of the gun's flash makes everything freeze. It's to the point that you can quickly survey the area after a shot's fired, or so you think. Anyway, he's soon shot as well. So, I continue into the cornfield and lie down in a nice spot, hoping they'll come my way. I rest my rifle in a nice spot in my shoulder, and everything goes quiet.
Oh, damn.
That's when I hear a deep breathing beside me. I slowly turn my head, looking to my right. It's dark as all hell, so I can't see a damn thing. I could use my light, but that'd give my position away like a fucking airborne at this point. I peer through the blanket of darkness, seeing what looked like fur. I slowly rolled over to my side and drew my knife, just in case it was a dog. I at least wanted a fighting chance. Something then moved in front of me. I quickly readjusted, but missed what it was. When I glanced back to where the breathing was, I just saw a bare space. I soon got up and moved, somewhat shaken at this point. That's when I heard another two cracks, along with the captain laughing. I walked right into his line of fire. That's it, game's done. His next idea was using the woods only. Okay, sounds fun. I load up a fresh mag and follow him in. It's him and I, plus a VC that was there for the actual event. I was at the back, in case they tried to flank or rear. After a few minutes of walking, I heard a rustling nearby. I called for them to hold it, then took a knee and looked toward the bushes where I heard the noise. I saw what looked like a person standing there. That's it, just standing. Figuring it was an op-4, I fired. Everything froze, and I could see what can only be described as a person dragged back from hell. They were beaten up and mangled looking, with pale white eyes. When I tried to take a closer look, it went black again. The captain glared at me for letting our position be known when there was nothing there. He didn't see whatever it was. We continued down the trail and hit the ambush, winning the fight. We gathered up, cleared our weapons, then began the trek back to camp. When we reached the field, I glanced around the group. We'd gone out with 6. I now counted 7, including myself in both times. Strange, but maybe I'd miscounted before. After all, it was dark and I was tired. When we reached the camp, I counted again. 6 including me. Something wasn't right. I asked about the other guy that was with us, and got funny looks as a response. So, I ignored it and went to sleep. The rest was uneventful. I've looked into this recently. I want to say skinwalker, but it doesn't fit. This thing didn't do harm. It also changed what it looked like several times, if it was the same thing. Either way, I haven't gone out at night for patrols since then.
I guess this is one of my stories that I best remember. I'll make it short and to the point, but the house I grew up in had a lot of activity. My whole family had things happen to them while living or staying there. But here is the story anyway. I have quite a few more if anybody's interested, but meh. Anyway, was quite young. Downstairs at around 12 a.m., my little sister was asleep on the sofa, and I thought it would be funny to mess with her. I walked up and poked her in the face a couple of times and tugged her hair, just sort of messing around. I was quite dumb when I was younger. Shortly I'm told to go to bed, so as a good little boy I head straight up, but while going up the stairs I get a sudden feeling of guilt, like I've done something very wrong.
Holy shit, that's thunder. Didn't I X those out? Like, I don't know what your... I thought I may have, like, nixed these details because it was... Wow, there's a lot of thunder out there. Oh, what time is it? 12:30. I better close it up, and we'll get back to this later tonight or this late afternoon. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, if I put those, like, I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'd have to put them on one on either side, and then just redraw. Yeah. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed, those who may be watching, and to those who are watching later. Thanks to my lovely moderator, Melody, for keeping me company during this stream. And to all those who are watching or lurking or watching later, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And if you feel like donating, there's a link in the section below. It'll take you to my Ko-fi page, and there you can donate any dollar amount. Any amount would be much appreciated. So until next time, this has been Johnston Blackhorse, the one and only, and I shall check you all later. Sweet. Bye.